Hello friends. Many of you have doubts about what happens in Violet, and today I'm going to explain the story as I understand it, along with sharing my theories. This video comes from someone who played the entire beta test period, as I supported the project through crowdfunding. Let's get started. And warning, this video contains spoilers for various endings and most of the game. First, it's essential to remember that this game takes place years before the first game in the franchise, Trauma Broken Paradise, where we learn about the events of Sophia. No spoilers here, but know that there is a common enemy that connects both plots. In Violet, we begin with Daniela waking up in a cemetery next to 4 graves, her own, Catherine Markel's, and 2 others with names in Hebrew, Adam and Eve. Right from the start, we realize that Daniela was captured and left there unknowingly, destined to be buried alive. But what exactly happened? Let me explain. When we head to the forest exit, we encounter a shadow. This is Richard Markwell, the brother of Daniela and Catherine Markwell, watching Daniela. Continuing the game, a shadow follows you everywhere. We'll talk more about it soon. Now, you have 2 choices: go to the basement or to the storage room. If you go to the storage room, you will somehow be warned by Catherine, who is trapped in the castle. At the end, Catherine tells Fumihiro that she was used for more powerful experiments. Thus, she must have the knowledge of alchemy to communicate with Daniela through letters. Catherine also helps Hisoka Ayumi orchestrate everything, but is eventually captured by Daniela. Let's explore that further in the storage room scene. Richard appears, asking who Daniela was talking to. This confirms that Richard was still alive. What Daniela says to Catherine at the end, "If you save her," is true. Daniela completed the ritual and invoked the being that possessed her. That's why we face Daniela for much of the game. Moving to the cellar, the same thing happens. The connection between the shadows is as if Daniela herself accepted it and wasn't forced by Richard. This suggests that Richard's shadow is the creature in Daniela's mind trying to dominate her. One important thing about Daniela is that if we defeat her, the shadows leave her, and we no longer see her. Keep this in mind as it connects with other theories to follow. Alright, after that, a year passes, and we have an interesting part with the Japanese family. Hisoka Ayumi, her sister Hinako, and her husband Fumihiro. They were staying nearby, and Ayumi's sister ended up in the castle. Ayumi followed her, fainted, and woke up locked in the cabin room. In the forest, a single change happens with Hinako Ayumi. Giant cages are scattered throughout the map. This explains what's happening and how Ayumi is already trapped. In other words, she has always been trapped, and everything you do with Ayumi is pure sadism from the shadow creature. Ayumi is trapped the entire time. If you read all of Hinako's dialogues interacting with Ayumi, you'll notice that Hinako seems to have a knack for strange things or things beyond reality. She says things that don't make sense in the situation and never seems scared. This creates the context of why she ended up there. With Hisoka Ayumi, we have the choice not to find Ayumi, abandoning her and not getting the perfect ending, and the teddy bear. The only thing the teddy bear changes is the final fight against Daniela. If you take the teddy bear with Ayumi, Ayumi will fight. It's necessary to fight with both characters if you want to get all the collectibles, as there's one collectible for each doll in this battle. Now comes one of the most interesting parts, Madoka Yumi, who is none other than the creature itself trying to win over Fumihiro. The interesting thing is that she doesn't force herself to be a Yumi or pretend to be her, but just confuses him, showing the true nature of this being. Here is a crucial choice that can completely confuse players: talking to Madoka Yumi. If you do, you fall into the creature's trap. From that point on, no matter what you do, you'll get the bad ending because the shadows have already entered Fumihiro's mind, and everything he did was a grand illusion. In the endings where you talk to Madoka Yumi, we see Ayumi hanged and Fumihiro being controlled. The idea is that Catherine saw the shadows and assumed Ayumi's form. Everything Fumihiro did was an illusion, helping the shadows control Catherine. The proof of this is that if you don't save Daniela at the end with Catherine, Daniela appears strangling Ayumi, suggesting that the entire battle happened in everyone's mind. Finally, what are Alfina and Akeston? Alfina is a copy of Catherine, a receptacle to incarnate the goddess Akeston, who is, as it seems, the true shadow. She is the only one with real power in this lore. Everything Catherine and Daniela do in the castle, including Richard, is alchemy. This is proven by the notes written by Richard himself. The story boils down to this. The goddess Akeston reincarnates in Catherine, who has this darkness within her. She defeats Akeston with light as a self-sacrifice, making her reborn as a new being. This is the perfect ending, where Catherine becomes a new person adopted by Fumihiro and Ayumi, who name her Sophia, the protagonist of the game Trauma, from the same franchise. This explains a lot from the previous game. I prefer not to give spoilers for Trauma and recommend that you play it. The story is fascinating and incredible when you analyze it. What did you think? Do you have more opinions? Leave them in the comments. See you next time.